Good morning. I hope you are having a amazing day. And if you're not, I hope I can say something that'll uplift your spirit in any kind of way. But it's another day getting into my morning routine, getting my husband's things together, water, food, clothes, also getting ready to get the kitchen cleaned up. I definitely went to sleep last night and did not regret it at all because on my health journey, I have to get the proper amount of rest. And I thought about it. I am really a wife out here. I am thankful. I can remember when me and my husband first started out. I struggled. I did not know what I was doing, and it felt like I didn't have an example to look to, really. Um, And I now realize that no one does, right? It's a daily thing. Marriage is where you learn and improve, you try and you fail, you are corrected and challenged. And the person you marry, they are going to hold up a mirror to you and they're going to show you exactly who you are. And then it's up to you to either accept it or reject it, right? It's up to you to be like, okay, you see that? Okay. So now what do I need to do to improve that? It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow too when your person show you who you are. And I read a question for wives out there. Will you as a wife today stop making excuses? Will you put your best foot forward, knowing that you may actually fail? You know? Will you stop trying to change your husband and allow God to change you and your heart? The work will not start with your husband. God will first change you, and then as you are changed, your environment changes. And it's a crazy principle to me because I do remember, praying, "Oh God, change his heart. He don't know what he's talking about. He's too difficult or he's not listening to me, this, that, and the third." And I remember when I would pray about it, I never was showed my husband. Like, not at one point did the spirit be like, "Oh, yeah, he's this, he's that. Oh, you're right." Like, no, the spirit never agreed with me in those moments. It was like, okay, so let me just show you who you are. Let me show you how much of a mess you are and how I'm using your husband to help you to see you. So I thought about it, and again, it's a thing that I've learned. God will not change your circumstance, but He will use your circumstance to draw you closer to Him for His purpose. And the scripture that came to mind was Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for the good of to them that love God and to them who are called according to His purpose. Your circumstance will work together for your good if you love God. These are the ones who are called for his purpose. So I wrote that out. But overall, I pretty much wanted to connect the dots and say that whenever you're faced with something, you're in a situation or a circumstance, and it may be that your marriage is being challenged, right? It may be that you and your husband are not on the same page. It may be that you really don't know what else to do. But instead of God just stepping in and just making everything all right, right? God is going to show you who you are in the midst of that situation. And then He's going to draw you to Him. And as He works on your heart, it's going to be like a lesson. Like, hey, you remember that moment? We don't want to repeat that. So the next time that this comes up, we're going to respond differently, type thing. And I just really wanted to ponder on that, how God works. I know for sure my marriage today is way better because instead of me thinking my husband is my hope, Instead of me thinking my husband is my happiness, I literally look to God for that happiness and hope. And God's joy fills me up so much that it flows over into my children, it flows over into my husband, it flows over into how I cook, it flows over in how I nurture my babies, it flows over in how I communicate with my family, it flows over. So God will literally come inside of you, transform you, and use you as a vessel to reach his people. And who better to reach than the people that are closest to you? So I think about my husband and my little babies and then everybody else that surrounds that. So it was a moment where I was just thinking on that. And then my final thing that I wrote out was that it was not until I started to love God more than anything else that things began to work for my good. That my current situation no longer looked like an obstacle but an opportunity. That in my lack, I always had what I needed to increase. There was a time that I wanted God to change everything around me. God instead showed me who I was. With the mirror of his word, I seen me, the good, bad, and ugly. I saw what my husband was correcting. I saw the flaws I was too ashamed to admit. By his spirit, I was convicted. I chose to humble myself, to confess, to turn away from those things that were working against me. Now, daily, I run to the one who can help me, who saves me from me. This indeed is a better day, not because of me, but the glorious grace found in my Creator. That's a mouthful, but I'm just grateful to be able to do this thing called life with a man who loves me and who gives me the space and opportunity to be who I am while nurturing our little babies that look up to me and really just grow in this thing called marriage and family and wife and motherhood. And it's a beautiful thing. But that's it. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening and look forward to bringing you more content.